Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Down Unders. Brody, my brother, both our teams having amazing wins over the weekend, so this is going to be a very positive stream, isn't it?
Winners are grinners, my brother. You know it.
Winners are grinners, winners are grinners. Also, guys, I just wanted to shout out, thank you so much for all the support on the channel and the show in general. We have now cracked the first sign of monetization on my channel, which is amazing. So super chats, memberships, all that sort of stuff, we can try and get that kicked into gear. I think super chats are all ready to go. But memberships and stuff, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with that, if we do want to do memberships or whatever in the future. So let us know if you just want to do, or if you enjoy that sort of stuff, you want to support the channel in that sort of way, let us know. Shout out to Jose in the chat as well. Thank you so much for coming through, my bro. Guys, this is a live show as always, so jump in. Feel free to give us your thoughts, any news stories you want us to cover, this and that. We'll get into it. But I want to touch on something a little bit different other than rugby league to start off the show, brother. Obviously, I sent you the photo of Jokic's 61 points, triple-double. Big men doing incredible things across the world there, and Nikola Jokic, incredible athlete, incredible player, right?
The talent is getting better and better, you know, and the big guys that are talented like this man, like Payne, Haas, it's incredible, man. And they just do it with ease. Like, Jokic is a freak. We'll never see another guy like Jokic, in my opinion. You know, we might down the line, but he's a one of a kind, and it's as simple as that. To dish out those numbers, absolutely insane.
I know. And does it with ease too, bro. And the reason why I wanted to point out Nikola Jokic is because the first thing we're going to touch on today, Payne Haas, the man, the myth, the legend, the big boy that we have in the NRL right now, is absolutely taking it by storm. He is looking to maybe pledge his allegiance to Samoa by the end of the year, brother. There's big news at the moment going around. He will turn his nose up at Australia and go to Samoa, which I'm really excited for, but I want to get your thoughts on that situation overall. How big is this for Samoa, and how much of a loss is this for Australia in your eyes?
Oh, look, it's a big loss for Australia, but, you know, Payne Haas is a one of a kind. He's going to leave a hole no matter what team he leaves. But, you know, it'll give a chance for a lot of other guys to get a crack. You know, Paddy Carrigan, just stick his spot there. Lindsay Smith, Ruben Cotter, Travojevic. We'll still be covered. It'll be a sad loss, but as long as we don't lose it for Origin, I don't mind.
Yeah, obviously not being tier 1 nation, Samoa, obviously. We will not be losing Payne Haas from the Origin arena, which, you know, Payne Haas in the Origin arena, he'd be incredible. So no, Jose, he will be staying in Origin. He will be a blue. I'm really excited to see what this does. Like, you know, overall for international football, like that Samoan squad, it's not just Payne Haas. There's now been rumors that Samoa are in talks with Tino Fa'asuamaleaui as well, to bring them a 1-2 punch, to bring with a Terrell May, and that side is growing bigger and bigger for Samoa, and what Tonga did in Pacific Championships. Like, how incredible can these Pacifica sides become in the future?
100%. They make up a big chunk of our game, and a lot of the stars. Yeah, it'll be incredible. It'll give a lot more life to international game, and it'll give a lot more chance to guys to step up into that play. You know, to play for Australia. You know, you got Lindsay Smith of the world. Max King. You know, those types of guys that kind of get pushed under Tino and Payne Haas, which for good reason. But yeah, it just opens up more doorways. It boosts that international game for sure.
And guys, like, let's have a little bit of fun, right? Let's go through our best Samoan squad right now, coming into this year. Like, you know, thinking of players that could pledge their allegiance or jump over there. Start off at fullback. Last year, they had Roger Tuivasa-Sheck in that fullback position. You got Sua Fa'alongo. You could probably push Roger to a wing if you wanted to. So, you know, what would you go? Would you go Sua Fa'alongo, or would you go RTS on the wing, on fullback?
I think you go RTS because you got a couple of good wingers there to choose from.
Yeah, and then we go to our wingers, right? I think we are probably on the same page with Brian To'o and either Jarrell Skelton or Murray Talangi if he wants to pledge his allegiance to Samoa again.
Yeah, exactly. So two more guns there.
100%. Go to the centers. We got obviously Critter. You can't put out Critter. Isaac Tungo will probably have a spot there, or the Hammer if he pledges allegiance to Samoa. I don't think he will anymore. I think he'll stay in Australia, but you never know.
Chance there, but yeah, again, options. He could do the old switch after a couple of years.
Moving over to the halves, we got massive jump on here. Wise Up TV, Lavon with a $20 New Zealand super chat. Thank you so much for being our first super chat
man.
ever, my bro. I really appreciate it. Congrats on the monetization, boys. You're absolutely killing it. And here's to many more milestones ahead. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, man. And bro, honestly, means the world. Moving into the halves, it would be Jerome Luai, and I'm trying to think. They had Blaze Talangi play there, and they had Anthony Milford there for a period.
Blaze Milford. Who else you got?
They did fiddle with Critter in the halves. I didn't really enjoy that too much.
Nah. See, that's probably the only little downside, I guess. I mean, you got Luai.
Yeah.
Just need somebody to help out there.
And then move over to your front row.
What about the Fainu brothers?
They are Tongan boys.
Okay.
Unless they're Tongan Samoan. I don't think they are. I think they're Tongan.
All right.
Move to the front row. You got Payne Haas, and you've got maybe Tino Fasul Malali or Terrell May.
Terrell May, Tino at lock.
Bro, Junior Bullo on that off the bench.
Yeah.
Number 9, Chancom Tong. Moving to the edges, Sua. There's a lot of options they've got on that side, bro. So their future is definitely really bright. So continue to watch out, guys, for this move. Apparently, it will happen later on this year. It is all heavily rumored. But then again, some things don't always end up the way they're supposed to, but that is the news going around currently right now with Payne Haas, my bro. So the next bit of news I want to touch on, bro, is Lockie Galvin. The Tigers have offered him a 5-year, $5 million deal, apparently. A $1 million per season deal. Your thoughts overall on that offer for such a young player in the league? Obviously, he showed a ton of potential early on. $1 million for 5 years. Where's your thoughts at with that?
I think it's just the premium tax you're paying for halves these days. And the Tigers are probably scared to not throw that offer out when you got teams like, the Knights throwing 1.3 at someone like Dylan Brown. And I don't know. I'm not saying that Dylan Brown's not worth it and on the upside, but I think that Lockie Galvin's probably got more upside than Dylan Brown right now. Would you agree?
Yeah, at the moment, it's looking at.
Yeah, just the effort areas, I guess you would call them. So that's probably where the Tigers are coming from, and to really build around him. In that 5-year stint, within 2 years, he'll probably be captain. He's got all those upsides there. So I like it, and I like that it's not a 10-year deal. We've seen the 10-year deals go a bit bad. I like the 5-year deal, and then approve from there. See if he's worth it. See what he delivers in that 5 years. I think it's a good move.
100%. The way he's playing at the moment, I just love that he's just a guy that it doesn't seem like the game. He doesn't let the game come to him. He takes the game. You know what I mean? He goes and chases it. He touches the ball more than Jerome Luai at the moment in that side. I think he touches the ball close to 60 times per game. He's just always in the action. We saw over the weekend against, the Warriors and the Tigers, he just was vital to a lot of their attacking sets. And he was so damaging in moments where he'd just pop up on one side of the field, then pop up on the other side of the field. I think that's what fans probably love to see out of a footballer. Dylan Brown, majority of the time, he'll post himself on that left side and just allow the game to come to him in a way. And if it doesn't come to him, he probably lets it go. But I feel like Lockie Galvin at the moment is just taking it, by the scruff of the neck and saying, I want to impose myself on these sides. 5 years, $5 million deal. As you said, just the income tax now, or the tax now on getting a half. It's crazy, right? Dylan Brown definitely blew this one out of the water. And now, you're seeing kids like this getting $1 million straight up. But then again, the salary cap's going up as well. So there's a lot of thought in that area too.
And so it should, because, you sent me through that thing today of, Josh Giddey signing for 30 million a season. And that's probably more than all salary caps for the NRL combined or nearabouts. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Well, it was rumored that Trent Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool, he got signed to Real Madrid on $475,000 Australian a week.
Yeah, a week. Yeah. And I understand that their games bring in a lot more money and they're more publicly known, but yeah, it's crazy that we sit here and go, Nathan Cleary's only worth $1 million a season. That's crazy.
Especially when you think of how much money the league probably benefits from these guys as well. We're talking billions. I reckon that And with the new broadcast deal that's on its way, like, they're in chats with going to a new broadcast deal. They're going to use streaming apps to their advantage to try and get the best deal. I just think the salary cap's going to go up in those areas as well. And I think teams that are signing players for like, these $1 million deals, they probably will benefit later on down the track, right? When the salary cap continues to go up, and these seem to be good deals. Like 5 years time, $1 million could be the next like 500K. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right. You're 100% right there, brother. So that's why I think a lot of these clubs probably are pulling the trigger on their stars and trying to lock them down for bigger term deals right now. You're 100% right.
Yeah, and like, think of the Tigers. If they didn't have someone like a Lockie Galvin, like especially of last year when it was a real dire season, wooden spoon, all that sort of stuff, right? He was their shining light, even with all the news around that. Locking someone down of this potential, because I know the Parramatta Eels are chasing him, all that sort of stuff. There's going to be sides that are wanting him. Yep, Manly definitely will be chasing him at the moment too. It's good to lock him in early before they can get out to the market and start chasing their price tag, because that price tag, $1 million from the Tigers, 5 years, there's going to be a team going, we'll go 1.2.
The Roosters especially, bro, they're teeing up something big, the Roosters. So
yeah, and we've been talking about this conversation with a couple other things that we won't really touch on in the show of like some rumors going around at the moment. But, those players in the league, like, that should be like, if Nathan Cleary was on the market now, like you'd think that a team probably would go 2s for him, I reckon.
Well, it's tough, but yes, he should be the most paid player, put it that way.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Payne, what do you reckon Payne would get on the market now?
1.1, 1.2.
It's crazy to think about for a prop.
It's
fucking mental.
It is, but when a prop's doing that much work for you and that much damage for you,
crazy.
Say less.
Guys, keep an eye out on the news going on around. And the last thing I just want to touch on is a little bit of an update on DC, that whole saga, that situation. So your doggies, I don't think we got to touch on this last week because this was fresh news, but apparently your doggies pulled out of the race. There's still obviously journalists out there that said like, no, Phil Gould is a shrewd operator, that he's just saying this just to kind of keep himself at arm's distance before he comes in late for a big deal or something. But let's just take it as Phil Gould has taken himself out of the race. And I spoke about this on Wise Up TV and how good it is to see that you are really stepping into your development and growing piece by piece. How are you feeling with all the news around DC and that, and you being a side that go, no, we're pretty happy with where we're at now and we're going to develop in the future, which is one of your options that we spoke about in the last show?
Happy as, bro. I'm more than happy to stick with Sexton for this season and really start to bleed Mitch Woods towards the end of this season, next season. I think that's the way to go. If you sign DC for 2 years and he doesn't bring you a premiership in those 2 years, it's not for nothing because the guys under him will learn from that. But, Mitch Woods doesn't work out. You've lost Sexton and you got to start trying to find a backup now for Mitch Woods not working out. And DC is gone. Took his money, gone. Sexton won't come back to the Dogs because he got overlooked. Whereas now you see that Gus Gould came out, said, DC, we're out of the race. And you see what the Dogs did on the weekend and the way that Sexton played. He really took his game, again, to another level because he's got that confidence, that backing of the whole Bulldogs saying, you're our man. We're going to stick with you. So I think it's great. I think it's absolutely outstanding for club culture.
Yeah, 100%. And as Toby Sexton hearing this, like, it just gives him so much more confidence coming into, like, week and week coming. And as I said, it's still not like, obviously it's just hearsay at the moment. If Phil Gould is definitely just going to pull himself out of the race there. But, it just would breed so much confidence for a young halfback to see that and go like, oh, well, he trusts in me. He believes in me. There's a halfback right now that is a Queensland captain that has, done so much in the league. And we're believing in us and our development that we're going to go that way. And it's proving wonders, bro. Like, we may as well jump into the week that was. But 4-0 your doggies, bro. And really taking the league by storm right now. It's been the last 2 years. You're definitely not looking like a side like we were in 2023 to 24. The Cowboys in years past, Parramatta, stuff like that have had one boom year and it dropped off. You're really steadily building into the season. How proud are you with the boys after a massive victory over the Sharkies, 20-6? Like that's a
Yeah,
premiership threat that you've taken down early in the season.
yeah. That the game on the weekend, like I even tipped against us, and I thought it just might have been a bit much for the boys.
Yeah.
But man, so proud to the point where like I was actually getting up and yelling at the TV, like just with happiness, with anger for some of the Sharks being a bit of cats laying down for penalties and then looking for a helping hand. Like they literally submitted to what the Bulldogs were doing to them, and it made me so happy to watch. And I just couldn't believe it because I've not seen that fight in the Bulldogs. You know, we've seen a bit of it last year, and it started to build last year, but before that, it was a long 5 years, bro, where we did not have a lot of quit in us. You know, would stay down. As soon as the team put a trial two on us, the scoreline would get pretty ugly pretty quickly. So happy as brother, can't complain.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, it feels so good to see like you so up about and happy about your side because it's been a little bit of time now. Like obviously the doggies had some dire years there. I know for a fact like there was periods there where you just struggled to really get up and really wanted to watch the dogs just due to you just knew what was going to happen, right? It was going to be a pretty much a submission sometimes out there. But you know, Serrato's come in after the first year. That looked like it was now just a building year and just trying to set standards and trying to put things in place. You moved on some dead wood out of the club, and you guys have really turned it around. So it's really really good to see. Loving to see that the effort that some of your boys are playing with and some of your juniors that are popping through. Harry Hayes is looking incredible at the moment.
Yeah.
That guy's an absolute freak, bro. Moves so well. You just, as I said, you pumped a team that a lot of people had up for their premiership threats this year with a side that probably on paper you're missing, obviously, Birdo, Kikau, Karaz. You know, your superstars just critter out there mainly for everyone out there to just look at and go, okay. But now you got all these other guys that have role players, but they're stepping up their games to become more superstar type players. Like Bronson Sherry's had an incredible start to the season, I believe, as well. And he should be up there for one of the better centers in the league. So incredible
100%.
work.
Yeah, 100%, brother. You hit the nail on the head. It's just everybody buying in, everybody doing their job. You know, not a lot of household names there in Harry Hayes, Bailey Haywood, you know, Curtis Morin, Fafita, you know, Josh Curran still to some guys, Jacob Preston still, you know, he's still so young into the game, Jacob Preston, and look what he's doing, you know, and now he's getting his name thrown up in Origin lights and just guys that are really buying in, man. And you can't train effort. You know, that try saver that Harry Hayes had on the weekend, he had no right to be there, brother. And, you know, that could have been a turning point in the game as well, where the Sharks got a bit of confidence and went on with it. But it just got sucked right out of them by a middle forward that's not even a middle forward to get back there and cover that kick. Like, just proud, bro. Just really proud of the effort. And yeah, we were paying $4.30, I do believe, before kickoff. And I can guarantee you now that we won't be paying that again for the rest of the year, short of having depleted squad. So
100%, bro. So well done for that. You know, just incredible to see you guys continue to build on performances that you've set in stone from last year and even adding performances on top of that, right? Like I'm pretty sure last year I had a little stat that I'm pretty sure the Warriors actually won more games against top four sides comparatively to the Dogs last year, which is a big surprise. But, you know, knocking off the Sharky side that is looking the way it is, you've taken another step. You know, you lost Birdo. If you lost Birdo last year, I feel like there was some moments where it could have been a little bit up and down or kick out, something like that. But this year, it's like the systems continue to grow, and now these guys are continuing to step up. Bailey Haywood's now stepping up and looking incredible in that 6 jersey, and I'm sure teams will be sniffing around him very shortly as well to get him on their side. But you've extended him by the looks of it.
yeah, we did. We extended him for a 2-year deal, I do believe. So yeah, excited to see that. It's starting to look very Penrith like, where it's like next man up. It doesn't matter who's there. It's next man up, and it's so good to see, bro. It really is. It really is just outstanding to see. Happy to watch the doggies grow so much, and very excited to be going to a few games this year. That's for sure.
And, you know, obviously touching on the Dogs, massive performance. Some would say an upset, right? But with the way they're playing football at the moment, you know, this could have happened, right? Like you're playing great footy. Let's bring it back to the Thursday night game. You know, the Rabbitohs just knocking off the Penrith Panthers like nothing, right? That was such an incredible performance from the Rabbitohs. Down on troops still. I know a lot of people will be saying the Panthers are down on troops, but the Rabbitohs went in that game. No Latrell, no Cam Murray, no Campbell Graham. Like a lot of players that they could have stepped up in those areas and could have helped them in another bigger victory. And they just knocked off the premiership, probably one of the premiership favorites this year, the Penrith Panthers, 28-18, bro. Your thoughts on their performance and how far can these Rabbitohs go? Are they a top 8 side at the moment? I know it's too early, but where are you sitting with the Rabbitohs?
Well, look, I guess us included and a few others are going to eat their words on quickly rubbing out the Rabbits after, their preseason injuries. And you can hardly blame guys because when teams lose that many players in preseason, especially late into preseason, you start to question, is all their work done in preseason and all their structure going to go out the window? And I don't know why we ever doubted Wayne Bennett to not have these boys firing, but we did. And now they're looking like they're still going to be where we thought they would be before the injury news has come out. But yeah, the impressive on Thursday night just absolutely blew them away in that first half. I don't know if the Panthers are a bit shell-shocked or the Rabbits just really wanted to prove a point. And I don't know, but whatever they did and whatever Wayne said to him before kickoff, he got them going, that's for sure. I wouldn't be too happy about their second half, but they did enough to win. So, yeah, scary to think what they're going to be like when you add, Latrell back in, Cam Murray to still come back, and Campbell Graham. Crazy.
Oh, bro. It's been incredible to see, their start to the season. And we may as well, I want to shoot you a question. To start the season, who's been your surprise packages to start the year? Like, who's competing this year that you thought that were probably going to be down and out? And who's your biggest disappointment right now of the season? Because there's a couple of teams right now that should be playing a little bit better than where they should be. But I also think there's a couple of teams right now that are holding up the fight that I think a lot of people didn't expect.
Surprise teams for me is the Titans so far. I'm not too surprised. The new Tino would boost a lot for them, but yeah, they've surprised me for sure. And I won't pick on the Roosters to be my disappointing team because I know that we predicted that they were going to start the season this way. My disappointing team would probably be the Eels, to be honest, and that's like an easy pick because they're bottom of the ladder. But I thought they'd be doing a little bit better than what they are, but they're just not, and that's crazy to me. They've still got a guy like Dylan Brown there, and Mitch Moses was supposed to be there, but now he's pulled out. So I guess I'm not too surprised now with the injury to Moses. But other than that, everyone's kind of sitting where they were supposed to be sitting. Like the Raiders were a bit of a surprise, but now they're kind of falling into what we predicted. But what are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, there's sides like that, right? That I think a lot of fans got to understand it is still start of the season. There's still a lot of footy to be played, and going off of history, there's sides that historically start really fast and then they kind of teeter off like mid to late, and some of them, they obviously start very, very slow into their seasons. Like even though this is Penrith's worst start, I think since 2017, from what I've heard, just statistically and stuff. They usually are slow starters. They build into a season, so I know when they get a lot of boys back, they'll be firing again. But it is looking a little bit worrying, some of the tries they were letting in with like some key members that they had there too. So it wasn't just like through incredible shape, it was through the front door, which usually the Penrith Panthers are so good at shutting down through the front door, right? But aside, like for me, I think the Cowboys have been a side that I can't remember if I put them in my 8 or not. I was going to jump on and check if I did, but from memory, I had them around about that 8 spot. And just to start the year, they were looking real dire for me. Like, the Parramatta Eels, as you said, is probably the easiest shout right now because they are bottom of the ladder, and where we expected them this year, we expected them to be fighting for that 8 role. But the Cowboys are another one of those sides at the moment that's like, I would have expected so much more in another year under Todd Payton and like Jeremiah Nenai, another year in footy. Like see their development continue to flourish, but I think a lot of the experienced members have really taken away a little piece of them too. So they are slowly 100%. Building back, but definitely worried there. One win against the Raiders that we touched on before. They start hot, but this is where they start, finding
exactly
the struggle. My surprise team, a team that I thought were definitely, I didn't expect them to be around abouts where they are, is got to be the West Tigers at the moment. Just their competitiveness in the games, but they look real connected. And another thing is too, like, we got to also understand, I think last year they were in a top 8 position by this time as well. So they have started well in the last couple of years. But I don't want to be that guy, but it does feel like this year is a little bit different with Jerome Luai and that there. They just look a little bit different to me.
They look a little bit more competitive, don't they? And a bit more buying into competing, no matter what goes wrong.
Yeah, exactly right, bro. And like just the game that we had against them over the weekend, I felt like it was such a balanced game in general of like, you know, I believe that we can be fighting for a top 8 role this year and continue to push on. But they were just competing with us, you know, back to back, like we were dominating a lot of the field position stats and stuff, and they just kept turning up, and then they got a lead on us, and I was like, maybe this is us gone. And luckily we came home strong and we got that penalty later on in that game and stuff that a lot of people would be talking about. But I've been really surprised at him, bro. And if I was a Tigers fan, I'll be so proud. It just sucks that Jerome Luai looks like he's out with a shoulder injury for a little bit now. He's got the suspension, and they go up against the Broncos, so I think they got a tough little track coming up. So we're going to kind of see if this is kind of just a little phase to start the season and if they can continue to be a very competitive side, because I think that's the first step before they start really finding good success and getting top 8s and stuff like that.
Exactly. I just hope that they don't go into their shell if they cop a bit of a hiding from week to week. So they'll be all right. They just need to stick strong through, this game coming up without Luai. So,
yeah, 100%. Where you other sides I want to touch on and get your view set of where you think they're sitting right now. The Manly Seagulls, are they sitting exactly where you expect them to be? Like, you know, they've had 3 great wins at 4 Pines, but obviously they had that loss against us over in Mount Smart. I continue to say this is just Manly of old. Like, even though I had them in the top 4 for my predictions, I just thought that the amount of 4 Pines games they have this year, they're just going to fire at those times. But are they looking like Manly of last year? Are they lost a little bit? Have they gained anything? Like, what's your thoughts on Manly at the moment? Second place right now.
It's kind of standard, I guess, especially with the injury concerns around Tommy. It's standard, and where I think they'll be.
Yeah. I was thinking like exactly the same thing. As like, it just feels like Manly of last year. They haven't really added anything. They haven't really lost anything for me. It's just like
exactly.
It's a meh. And I don't know if that, like, for me, like, I'm looking at, like, we'll do our mid-season predictions, or we're doing that, you know, coming up, you know, not too far away, right? When I'm looking at sides like that, it was like top 4. Like, I think they still obviously can be top 4 with the amount of games that I have at home, but their performances to me at the moment are just like, it's just like, I feel like I want a little bit more out of them. But then touching on that, the Melbourne Storm, how are you feeling about Melbourne right now to start the season? They've had that massive win to start the year. But then they had a competitive game against Penrith that had a lot of injuries during that game. They did too, so that's fair. But then they go down to the Dragons in a wet weather sort of footy game there. Like, where are you sitting on Melbourne to start the year as well?
I think they'll be all right. I think Melbourne will take a while to click into gear. A couple of little distractions there with Jerome Hughes getting a bit injured there, but Bellamy will have them fired up and they'll be okay. A little bit disappointing start, obviously, but they'll bounce back.
Yo. Jazzy wants to jump on this. He's been asking us a couple of times. I've just seen the chat. I was going to wait until a little bit after.
But, that's right.
Bro, what's your thoughts on Tomato Martin and CNK rumors? So the rumors going around that Tomato Martin and CNK will go to the Super League. Tomato would be effective immediately in a couple of weeks' time or whatever's going to happen there. That's just rumored. And CNK by the end of the season.
If the rumors are true for what the Warriors are planning to do because of these moves, 100% great move for the Warriors. But I also do think it's a great move for both these 2 players here. I think CNK will be even more of a beast in the Super League, and he'll get some good money for the work that he does. And I think Tomato Martin will get a start, and he'll be an absolute gun in the Super League as well. He'll be a dominant halfback, and also get some really good money. So I think it's a great move for both clubs, both parts in this move. And I think if the rumors are true, it's going to be 100% the best move for the Wars. And, you know, because you got Tane Tuapiki in the wings waiting for that fullback role. You got RTS option back to fullback where we know he's very damaging, or chance to sign somebody else. And Tamare, well, it just shows the faith that you guys are going to run with in Chanel and Luke Metcalf, which I think is good for the club as well. We're seeing them grow already in such a short time this season. But yeah, I think it's a great move for all involved.
Yeah, and guys, you already seen my thoughts on Wires Up TV, so if you want to check it out, go check it out over there. But obviously, a lot of moving pieces going on in the wings for our club at the moment. Just going to wait and see if all the rumors are true or whatever's coming out of it, because there is a lot of talk. But usually when there's smoke, there's fire. So we're going to have to wait and see what comes from it. But very exciting
100%.
coming up.
And then Michael asked a question on how long to the Finns get into the championship position. Look,
Ooh.
after the way they're starting this season, I feel like they've got a long way to go. But if they sign DCE for a 2-year deal, I reckon in that second year of his contract, so 2027, that'll be a top 8 team.
Yeah,
is what I would lean towards.
They've got a really good base of young, great forwards that are still developing in the areas. Like Tom Gilbert's incredible, I believe, even though he's had, a little bit of a tougher runs back from injury this year. A couple of moments, but even then he still works hard. You got Max Plaff, you've got Fine Fuyaki, you got Connolly Lemuelu. You've got a lot of really good young players down there. You got Isaiah Katoa. I feel like they just need time to build. I feel sorry for him because this is always going to be the case when Wayne Bennett leaves the club. There is like a standard that everyone's just going to label you as a side that's going to fall off. And unfortunately, when you say it enough, you fall into that narrative. And unfortunately, I think the Dolphins have fell into that narrative a little bit. Other questions on top of that too, like the hammer. What are your thoughts on the hammer at the moment? Is it just like let him be, like he'll build into the season, or is it like maybe does he need to move into that center position? They need to work things around.
I think if Trey Fuller gets fit for next season, I think they need to take a page out of the Rabbits book and play the hammer in center and play Trey Fuller at the back. He just adds more energy. He wants to be involved in the game, whereas the hammer kind of waits for the game to come to him. Like he'll get the ball on a kick and he'll run 80 meters and score a really great try. But other than that, he's not involving himself much into the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%, bro. 100%. I'm right there with you. When Trey Fuller gets back fit and healthy, which I think is late this season, even if then, because his injury happened in the final series last year in Q Cup. So hopefully he's okay. Could you, like, if they wanted to put that into like a position early, so when Trey Fuller comes back in, he can just slot into a fullback. 100%. Would you move Jake Averillo to the fullback position for now and have Hammer on the wing? No.
No.
Is there anyone else at the club that you look at the moment that could fill into that fullback position, like a Cody Nikarima? Like he did a job there at one period.
He could do the job, but then you're just taken away from you're finding somebody else to play that 5'8" role, and I don't think there's a better option than what they're running with at the moment.
Yeah. It's interesting to see how the Dolphins go. Is there any moves you do right now? Because like it does feel like right now they're in a little bit of a dire position, second last on the ladder. They haven't got a win this season. Is there anything you're noticing right now that you're like, this needs to change other than the hammer? This needs to change for them to start getting some performances back under it.
Maybe try Herbie at fullback. Yeah, I think he played that game last year against the Broncos at fullback, and they looked really good. He looked really good. And he loves to involve himself a lot, so that might boost the energy.
I'm seeing GTGT has got Donahue. Maybe I know Bloke in the Bar's been, Danny Camp and all those boys on Bloke in the Bar have been big on putting Kurt Donahue at fullback. I love Kurt Donahue as a 6. Like I think he's a really good 6. I think he's good in multiple different positions. I reckon he could do a job at fullback, but I think that if they wanted to, they could probably go Isaiah Katoa, Donahue in the halves and have Cody Nikarima at fullback if they were thinking that way too.
I think so too, yeah, because Nikarima, he's not good under the high ball in the fact that he could get jumped over and stuff, but other than that, his positioning for set plays is really nice, and he's pretty silky with his ball.
Yeah, 100%. So, guys, hold on for the Dolphins. Who they got coming up this week? I'm sure we're going to talk about this more, but they've got the Titans this week. So, may as well, while touching on the Dolphins and the Titans now.
Well, actually, touching on Cody Nikarima quickly, Hosier said to retire at the end of the year. I don't think he'll retire. I think he'll go to Super League with his brother, if anything.
Yeah, that's true.
His brother's killing it over there in Super League at the moment, so that would probably be an option I see him maybe taking.
He's such an incredible talent, Cody. This is the thing, is like he's got so much talent. It's just like consistency is just always been his issue, and because he's such a small body, you can't get away with certain things with inconsistencies being that size.
Yeah,
I like that's the only problem with him.
Yeah, it's unlucky.
I remember him at the Warriors, bro. He had some incredible moments under us where I was like, "Oh, here we go. This is what we're seeing the talent come through now." And then the next week we don't see it again. It's just like,
exactly.
Yeah, but touching on the Titans, you said before they were probably a little bit of a surprise package at the moment. 2 wins from 3 games. They've had one bye. Back-to-back wins now, Newcastle, and also the win over the Roosters over the weekend.
Mm.
Are you starting to see that spine come together? He's starting to look at it now more so as like, Jaden Campbell can be the 7. I know we both probably sit on the fence of like, we still don't like AJ Brimson at 6 just yet,
No.
but it can work. But Jaden Campbell as a 7, how are you feeling about Jaden Campbell? Because you obviously playing halfback growing up. How are you enjoying his game at the moment?
I'm liking that he seems like he's easy to coach. You could see a lot that changed from that doggies game alone to now, and that's the signs of a good young half in the making, is somebody that wants to listen, and somebody that will go and work on their game. And it seems like he's put a lot of work into his kicking game already, just from that doggies game to now. And you can see the growth, you can see the confidence already. So yeah, I do think he could play 7. I do think he's going to be fit for that 7. But yeah, AJ, no. And if De Groot doesn't play too well this week, I'll be moving AJ back to fullback and trying to fill somebody into that 6 role.
What are you most impressed with as well with the Gold Coast Titans right now?
Effort. I think that round 1 game against the Doggies, they lacked a lot of effort. There was some soft tries. And I think Hasler would have sprayed the absolute shit out of them. And since then, we've seen their effort levels have risen. So, I'd say the effort. It's not like the Titans we've seen last year where they'll just fade in and out of games. It seems like they are competitive for that 80 minutes at this stage.
Yeah. I still think, like, at the moment where I'm sitting the Titans is I still do think they're a side that's around about where we are, maybe – let's say Newcastle, stuff like that. There's sides that are fighting for the 8, but they still need a little bit of an edge. Looking at some of their games, the Roosters game over the weekend, I think that first half of the Roosters were dominant in a lot of areas other than the points on the board. Like, they had 6 line breaks to 1, I think, in that first half. It looked like it was going to be all Roosters, but I think that's what I'm also most impressive with the Titans. In a game like that where it should have all gone to shit, and usually it would have gone to shit for the Titans, their scramble defense actually held up really nicely. They worked for each other. They showed a lot of effort in those areas. But I still also want to see is just like a longer period for the season before I start really going like, this is where I really feel with the Titans. There's a lot. It's like with a lot of teams. Like even my Warriors, I had them fighting for the 8. We've had 3 wins now on the trot. We're looking really good with a steel edge. But we got to see us against like some of the bigger sides, see where we kind of sit, and when we get to that mid part of the season, whether we do crumble a little bit or whether we just continue to build on our performances. That's really the thing about a lot of these sides like the Titans and the Knights, the West Tigers, stuff like that we're looking at for that top 8 sort of position.
Yeah, 100%. And it's very hard to tell after 4 games. Some teams had softer draws. Some teams might have had a longer preseason, a shorter preseason. It's very hard to tell. Some teams have a lot of travel. Some teams have no travel. So I think you need probably good 2 months of footy to really get a lay of the land for how teams are going to travel for the year. But so far, so good for the Titans, in my opinion.
100%. And so far, so good for your Doggies too, brother. 4-0 at the top of the competition. Grand final tickets incoming, right?
Nah, definitely not. I'm not. Like, Doggy Sporter at work said that to me today. He's like, it's our year. And I was like, don't say those words. Like,
I hear those words every week.
True. Very true.
On Wise Up TV, bro. That's all I hear.
That's all I hear from Steve and shit as well about the Broncos. It's just, it is what it is. But I don't like those words because anything could happen.
That's 100% right. But that was our summary of the week, guys. If you want to jump into the chat, anything more that you want, any questions and stuff, we'll jump back and definitely talk to you guys and stuff. But let's run over to our team of the week, brother. We'll go through one by one. Starting off in that fullback position, brother, who have you got?
For me, it was Jai Gray.
Oh, I love that shout. I went Cliff Gutherson. I thought Gutho in a side that obviously beat the Melbourne Storm. I thought his stats wise were incredible, just not good enough for Supercoach this week. He didn't get his Supercoach points that I was hoping for. But I thought he was everywhere in defense. But Jai Gray started the season top of the daily M count, and now they're running Latrell Mitchell at center due to him. Like, incredible work from this kid.
Yeah, that's a big feather in your cap, isn't it? And expect him to have a killer performance again with the confidence that he's got the nod over somebody like Latrell Mitchell.
With Jai Gray too, by the way, do you think that this fullback play is only going to be to fresh, like until Latrell gets fit and healthy, ready under his belt, or do you think that he's probably nicked it at the moment and can continue to lock this spot down if he continues to have good performance with Latrell at centre?
I think it'll be more so until maybe Campbell Graham comes back, or they're just gonna let why Jai Gray's killing it the way he is. Let him keep going. You know, you're not gonna bench him when he's playing so hot. So you might wait for him to maybe fall off a little bit, or you get AJ White and Latrell, Campbell Graham, you get everybody back. Then it's like, all right, maybe we need to push you to a 14 role. But for now, why he's playing the way he's playing, man, he's got to be the man.
Shout out to him, bro. Incredible start to season. Queenslander too, by the way. So shout out to old Jai Gray.
One day for you.
One day, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Moving over to our wings, brother. Who you got in the wings?
Fuck me, this light. I've got Tamale and I went with Lehigh Hopewadi.
Ooh, I like that. I went Jason Saab and Lehigh Hopewadi. Lehigh,
Sabi.
incredible. Saab, bro, he was breaking tackles like I haven't seen him before. He was trucking blokes. I was like, when does this happen? No Tommy Trbojevic. I thought you would slump, but
I was going to say, normally it's only open space for him, isn't it?
Yeah, so he's showing a little bit of upside there. But Lehigh getting obviously starting the wing, but pushed into fullback. He's just showing he's such a superstar, that kid.
Yeah, he's going to really come into his own over these next 6 weeks that Trbojevic is tipped to potentially be out.
Shout out to my honorable mention, Ed Gossey. A lot of talk on Ed Gossey coming back. A lot of Warriors fans worried because we know what we can get with him, rocks and diamonds. And he had a diamonds game over the weekend, 200 meters running, no errors from memory, like just a really incredible performance from him. So
yeah, nice.
Moving to our centers, brother. Who have you got your centers?
I think we'll be on the same page here. I went with Shibasaki and Bronson Sherry.
Yeah, we're right on the same page. Let's glaze a little bit of Bronson Sherry, bro. Started the season. He's been incredible, I believe, like in all 4 games. I think that he's had really good, incredible performances. Where do you see him at the moment as a center in the position? Like, obviously, probably too far to say Blues or anything like that, but does he have that ability still, you reckon?
He's on my shit list because I sold him on Supercoach. Then he pulls out 2 good performances. But Origin, yeah, look, it's hard because that's such a stacked position, especially for New South Wales, right? You got Latrell, you got Turbo that plays center, and then you got your genuine centers in Crichton, Braden Best, Jesse Ramian. It's a tough position. Tony Staggs, you know, a lot of guys there. But put it this way: if he was picked, he'll do a job. I'm really putting him to be your Brady Best type player. Him and those two are very similar, and it's not just the leg tat. They're very similar in the way that they break tackles, they go about their work, and they're quite achievers, I guess you would call them. Very impressed with his work.
Shout out to him, bro. Like, you know, for all the stuff he's been through, obviously, you know, he did what he did in the past, but he's gotten over that. He's gotten back to first grade, and the doggies gave him they trusted in him, giving him a contract. And he's repaid that trust, and he's looking so damaging. And if him and Crichton continue to go the way they go, they could be possibly one of the best center combinations that we've seen yet this year in the competition. Like, I think they're up there right now for in-form centers in the competition. Shout out to him. But talking about in form from a guy that no one expected, it Shibasaki, the name of a motorcycle, incredible.
Thanks for that stat, Ash.
It's not actually a name of a motorcycle, but it sounds like it should be.
Sounds like it should be set in a scary movie.
But
anyway, look, hats off to him, man, the journeyman. And it just shows that you just got to work hard and you got to train hard, because he's a prime example of it. You know, he's been to a lot of clubs now and not got much of a go. And all it took was one really good preseason at the Broncos. And it's hard work over talent. It really is. And yeah, shout out to him, man. I can't praise him enough for what Madge has picked him. And it's not like he didn't have a good choice over to be selected in Mariner over him. So yeah, Madge, good job. Created an absolute beast there.
100%. Hopefully, he continues on the upwards because it got him in Supercoach team. If he gets another 100 this weekend, it'd be a nice
he'll be next up to that 500k. But Supercoach tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%, guys. Make sure you jump into Supercoach tomorrow. Moving over to our halves, bro. Who's your halves of the week?
Oh, look, mate, I think I have my blue jersey on here, but it's Bailey Hayward.
Love
And
it.
I went with Jake Clifford. Obviously, he had a killer game.
Yeah, I went with Jake Clifford and I went with Cody Walker, but I can definitely see the Bailey Hayward shout. Like Bailey Hayward, incredible performance, laying on a couple of tries there, a try and a line break assist for, Jacob Preston down that side. He's just
Which is,
grown so much.
yeah, just outstanding. Nobody expected that from him. I didn't expect it from him. I thought, Sexton would be the one that really stands up to find our points.
Yeah.
And Hayward's just there to steer us around and make his tackles. And look at him. He's making line breaks, creating line breaks, try assists.
Right.
Beast.
Incredible. But I just wanted to shout out Cody Walker. I need to get a couple of Rabbitohs in there after a big performance, and he was wheeling and dealing against the Panthers over the weekend. So shout out to him at what, 36 now, 35.
Yeah.
He's upwards, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, his game's only going to go up when Latrell's back there as well. We know what Cody Walker can produce when he's got someone like Latrell there.
Yeah, we'll quickly glaze Jake Clifford after the performance that he had over the weekend. This is the thing with Jake Clifford. He's had some great performances like this. We just need to see it consistently out. For the Cowboys want to see it consistently, but he's got potential. He really does. He does look like he's taking it seriously now. He's cut a bit of weight by the looks of it. So I'm keen to see more out of him. But early season Jake Clifford usually he's done this before. Like Newcastle Knights, he led the Daily M for Newcastle for a period there. So we just need to see more out of him.
Yeah, just find that consistency because he really did show what he's got. He had a really good, nice kicking game on the weekend. His running game looked good, and his pass selection was on point. So keep it up. That's what the Cowboys need.
100%. And we'll need that kicking game with the motor room that we have. Who we got in the props?
I went with Pole from the Tigers and Joseph Tapane.
Oh, I love that shout. Shout. I went a couple of different ones. So I went David Moale. I just wanted to shout out David Moale. Probably not the biggest stat sheet filler, but scored a try over the weekend over the Penrith Panthers. He's looking big. He's looking strong. And I want to shout him out because he's developing so well.
100%.
As a guy that people know I'm probably ultra critical over, but Terrell May, I thought that 80 minutes over the weekend got for a ton of work. I 40 something tackles. Like I got to give it to him. Like he's been really, really solid for the Tigers this season. He's showed a lot. I still got to be a little bit critical because I still think that when people put him in the Payne Haas discussion, still think there's a different, but he's definitely working towards it. So shout out to him. I've got to put my hand up there.
100%, brother. He played really well on the weekend, but again, I think it was the Luke Metcalf try. He was he was in the area to be able to make a tackle and stop that from happening, and he didn't. So there's the little areas that people don't see like that I can see that you see, and that's where you are critical of him. But yeah, I went with Pole over him because he had the 72-minute performance, which was massive for him. But yeah, definitely a good shout in May. And Moale, bro, killer performance last week. He's really grown since last year. He was on the scene last year, and you've seen there was a bit to him, but this year he's really proven that.
Yeah, he's got a bit of size. He's got good movement. I think Totola ended up starting that game. I think they had a late switch in that from memory. He came on off the bench, and he had incredible impact. And that David Moale last year, he'd have hit and miss moments. He'd score tries. He'd have moments like that. But I feel like he's grown in his game. He's getting older. I think they've got a real good piece there with the Rabbitohs. So a good prop forward for the future. But shout out to Michael Williams for the Terrell May. Work pony, you reckon, Ash? Work pony. The old workhorse.
Have you watched the game for the Tigers in the last 10 years, Michael? Do you even know who Terrell May is?
Crazy, bro. Crazy. He's like, who's that guy?
yeah, he's really good.
He's the one that I'm not going to tell you what I was about to say. But anyway, moving to number 9. Who's you got number 9, brother?
I went with Peter from the Rabbits. Good luck saying his last name.
Peter Mamazoulis.
There you go. I'll leave that to Ash.
Yeah, great performance from him. He's really stepped up for the Rabbitohs this season. I think that I was a little bit skeptical with them moving on to Damien Cook if they was ready 100%. For someone like him. He stepped up, bro. He's incredible.
Yeah, he's really made that jersey his own.
100%. I went with Wade Egan. I think that he's just been so vital for us to start the season. I think that was a game over the weekend. A nice try assist. He had that line break assist for Chanel to give off to Luke Metcalf. That Luke Metcalf try he touched on. Like, he's in some really good form, but he's done this to start the season a lot of seasons, but we need him to be top form for our halves to work, and I think he's been really good to start.
100%. Just need to keep him out of some tackles and keep him fresh.
That's exactly right. Moving over to our edge back rollers. We need to keep them away from these boys, I'm guessing. Who have you got in your edge back rollers?
I went with Keon Kalomatangi from the Rabbits
Ooh,
with a
yep.
double there, and he looked deadly. Back to that, that New South Wales form that he's once been there before. And I went with Jacob Preston, a future blue, which is a no-brainer.
There you go. You and Tarns on the same page. Obviously, we spoke about Tarns' footy knowledge last week, but you and Tarns on the same page. You got Preston and Keon Kalomatangi as well. Shout out. I went Jacob Preston for sure as well. I think that he has just had such a good start to the season and that. I feel sorry for Keon. He's not in my team of the week this week, but he well deserves to be in there. I had to go a little bit biased this week, and I felt like last week I went away from a little bit of bias and stuff. I'm just like, fuck it. I'm going to do it this week. I went Leko Lasima. Come off the bench, played on the edge. Fuck it. Incredible performance from him. You know how much I've been waxing lyrical about this kid. His first game against your Dogs, he had that performance and he had that moment where he almost scored that try. Coming to this performance, he had that. He ended up scoring that try. So that's development there in its own. Yeah,
that was a beautiful try.
And that little stint, bro, that he had, 111 meters, the massive line break, all those tackle breaks, just incredible.
You love to see that from your rookies.
Oh, 100%, bro. And you'll be seeing it with Jacob Preston as well. He's grown so much now, moving to his preferred edge, but he'll go to move back to his right when Kickout comes back. But when he's there on that left edge now, he's showing the future, and he's definitely someone that's waiting for a Blues jersey soon.
100%, brother. Get him in there.
Get him in there, he reckons. Moving over to that 13, a jersey. Who have you got?
I went with Tino again.
I love it.
Oh, actually, I went with Cam McInnes last week, but I think, Tino this week for me.
Yo, I love it, brother. I love it. I went with Aaron Clark. Again, I'll put a little bit of bias in here, but I think Aaron Clark was incredible over the weekend. Probably was our man of the match other than Wade Egan against the Tigers. And I looked at Tino. I was like, fuck, I was going to put Tino in there. I can't remember if I put Tino in last week. The only thing that pulled me away from it, he had like 5 or 6 missed tackles in that game. He had a really poor miss from memory in that game that I was like, that's not Tino-like, but then came back off it, scored a try, almost scored 2. If it only that passed and went to his chest. But incredible performance from Tino. And shout out to Aaron Clark. I think he's been incredible for us to start the season.
Yeah, he's been very damaging for you guys. And I'm liking his work that he's getting through.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Obviously, guys, know from last week, we did a couple of little changes, and we will be bringing you a couple of little segments. So we're going to be doing our hit of the week, our try of the week, our player of the week, and our egg of the week.
Yes,
how do you want to start this, brother? How do you want to start this? Are we going to
go? We're going to start with our player of the week first.
You want to go player? Yeah?
Yeah, since we went through the team list.
Okay, all right. Who you got?
Jacob Preston.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, baby.
We've already glazed him.
Bro. Already glazed him, but after that performance against the Sharks, against Britain Nicola as well, that was his side, and he dominated that side. Incredible.
Yeah. He made Nicola look a bit amateur in defense, and that's not like Nicola at all.
No. So shout out Jacob Preston. That mullet's looking absolutely fire. Moving over to, what do you want to go? Hit of the week now.
Yeah, let's do hit of the week. Do you want to paint the picture?
We got a couple of different ones here, I reckon, but go your one. Paint the picture.
Oh, all right. I've changed it 3 times because there was some good wax over the weekend, and I think I'm going to go from the obvious of what away from the obvious of what NRL.com posted on Instagram. I'm going to go with Suli Tupanua on Toby Rudolph in the 49th minute. If anybody didn't watch the Doggies game, watch back. I think I noted it down as the 49th minute, and it was just a bang-on direct shot on a bigger man in Toby Rudolph, and it was a welcome back to the league.
Shout out to Toby Rudolph for the smile that he had on the ground too. He was like, "What just hit me?" And it's sort of just like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." But
he copped it, and he didn't want to get back up, and I don't blame him.
Bro, Satili Tupanua, the torpedo, they should be calling him, because he was just torpedoing into cunts on the weekend. Incredible.
Yeah, and now he got 2 weeks for it because Sharks are a bunch of soft cocks.
Yeah, shout out to the judiciary out there. Yeah, I didn't think that tackle was too late for me, but anyway.
No, it was Simbin for whiplash. What a fucking joke.
True, it just hit too hard. Yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
All right, let's move over to actually my hit of the week. I think it was the NRL.com one too, right? I think there was a couple ones I saw up there. I saw the Herbie Farm, the Brendan Pierre one on Herbie Farm, where I've got someone's hit of the week. I went with the Paddy Carrigan hit on Tom Gilbert, and the reason why I wanted to do that is I feel like with all the talk around Payne Haas, people are really forgetting what the season that Paddy Carrigan's actually having at the moment. Payne Haas wasn't a thing. I think everyone would be waxing lyrical again, as Michael Williams said in the chat. I did say that the first time about Lek Alasima. I said waxing lyrical. Everyone would be waxing lyrical about Paddy Carrigan, bro.
100%.
Like, he's been incredible.
100%. And just for everyone's information, that was in the 70th minute, because that was my other one, was Paddy Carrigan on Gilbert. It was a bang-on shot where Paddy Carrigan's already put in probably 40, 50 minutes of work by that stage. And to still want to get off the line and pull a shot out like that is crazy. Don't get me wrong, the Pierre Cora one was good, but it was a blindside for me, and it was on a smaller man. So that's why it was a great shot. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying a blindside isn't lovely to watch, but these guys were just bang on contact, and that's what made me excited about these two shots.
And guys, when we do all this too, make sure you chuck into the comment section or in the chat what's your thoughts. Who is your hit 100%. Of the week? There might be ones that we kind of missed that you guys are like, but I think they were the most obvious ones. I think all three of them were absolutely incredible, major hits, and I'm sure there's other ones in the game. Moving over, do you want to go egg of the week or try? We'll go try of the week, and then we'll go egg of the week, right? That's our big one there.
Yeah.
Try of the week.
I went with Leka Halasima. That was impressive. That was impressive. I think Jack Bird's still looking for his ankles.
I saw Tans. Tans was in the WhatsApp chat, and because obviously everyone's going crazy on CNK laying down and getting the penalty, and Taruva laid down early on the game and did his Oscar performance. He was like, Jack Bird, I'm pretty sure he was laying down doing an Oscar performance. I was like, nah, I just think he just got fucking dominated.
How did he not come up with an injury with that dude? He's always injured, and the one time he probably should have snapped ankles, he's fun to play on.
Oh, bro. But shout out Leka, man. Like, I've been waxing, again, I've been going crazy about this kid since, like, I first saw him, and I'm like, again, I continue to say, guys, it's like, he's still going to take time, he's still going to develop, but what he's showing at the moment is, like, very similar to what I believe he's got Jeremiah Nenai's skill set, but he's got aggression. I think Jeremiah Nenai sometimes can go missing in a game because he's so blasé sometimes. I think this kid wants to take it to the game, and that's what I'm so excited for.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think I see that in him as well, and Jeremiah Nenai is lacking that.
Yeah, 100%. And moving over, talk about lacking. Let's go with egg of the week. Who have you got with your egg of the week?
Yeah, like I have two, but I'll throw out one and I'll see if you pick up the other one. And it's AFB, Adam Fanua-Blake. I reckon he would have looked at the matchup that he got to have, looking at that Bulldog squad on paper and thinking, fuck yeah, ain't nobody here that I'm going to be worried about. I'm going to run through these guys and just have a field day. And to start the game, he was picking on our outside backs, on the kick returns and trying to be hard, shaping up to them, standing too close at marker. And then it got to the point where, we're in the 75th minute or whatever it was and dominated the Sharks all game and haven't really heard anybody say Adam Fanua-Blake's name for anything throughout this game. And he, the dude with the bleach blonde hair that's been tackling him all game in Jamin Salmon.
The weak gutter dog.
The weak gutter dog gets the best of him and Ads lashes out and the Bulldogs don't even bite. They just laugh at him and cop the penalty for Ads getting frustrated and lashing out because he couldn't break a tackle. So here's my egg of the week for that reason there.
100%, brother. 100%. I'm with you on that one. Your second one, I don't know if it's similar to mine. Shout out the little matchup of Spencer Leniu versus Dave Fafita. Dave Fafita got the last laugh in that one. And shout out to Dave Fafita, not having the greatest start to his season this year, coming off the injury and that. But going head-to-head with Spencer, and Spencer trying to arc up, and he was doing all this and that. And after, Dave Fafita just walked over the top of him and just went, you ain't got nothing.
Yes, that was my other one. And that's what it was leading up, And it's funny because these two are supposed to be the big bad men that you're scared of in Spencer and AFB. But, Spencer tried to put a shot on Fafita, got bounced off. And by the time three other guys got on Fafita, he's still standing Spencer comes over with some dirty stuff and gives away a penalty, and Fafita did nothing but laugh at him. So yeah, shout out to Spencer for being the egg of the week there as well.
Is that what your second egg of the week was?
And that was, brother. That was indeed.
Yeah, shout out. And see Tans in the chat as well. The egg of the week for her is Taruva for come on, play the invisible man. Love to see it.
Oh yes, yeah, playing the ball to nobody and throwing the game away.
Shout out to him. Shout out to him. But shout out to the West Tigers. I was a bit more of like, yeah, they had a good performance. I'll let him with that. To Chris here, we're really sorry, obviously, with the swearing and stuff like that. It's just obviously how we chat. We're obviously over here. Apologize if it comes off the wrong way or anything like that. But I don't know. It's just the way we chat, bro. And unfortunately, when we get emotional and happy about footy, words are just going to come out. But if you don't enjoy it, unfortunately, yeah, it's just something that we're doing. So sorry, brother.
Yeah, we'll put a M+ rating for you, brother, instead of a PG.
MA15. R18. Oh, if you
Wait,
go on with no shirt on again, oh my god.
Sorry, brother.
We continue on. All good, bro. All good. Anyway,
this guy clearly doesn't go to the footy and watch it live ever because we're swearing a lot. Oh god.
Oh mate, yeah, it's what it is. But unfortunately, yeah, sorry for that, my bro. But if you don't enjoy it, unfortunately, yeah, it's just a part of life at the moment, I guess. But some people obviously believe it different. But yeah, it is what it is.
That's right. I'll have my Christian light behind me next week. All right.
Unfortunately, I can't get the draw up from my other computer, so we're just gonna go through one by one each and every games, bro, and we'll go through just our thoughts overall to finish out the show. All right. Have we got anything more? You look like you got something more. We got
no, I'm just like, all right. It was nice knowing you guys were getting cancelled. So
yeah, well done, Brody. Well done. I'm pretty sure I dropped C-bomb in a video there, so it is what it is.
I just can't believe it. Like I appreciate it, but is he serious or is it April's Fool's joke?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Some people just obviously feel that way, but we'll move on anyway. The first game of the weekend, brother. We got the Raiders versus Sharkies at GIO Canberra Stadium. With no Kale Iro apparently out for a decent period now with the Sharkies, unfortunately. That's a really big loss. And Sifa Talakai out. You guys are taking souls now from the Dogs are taking souls here for the Sharkies. But at GIO, bounce back game here for the Sharkies, but also a bounce back game here for the Raiders. How are you feeling about this one?
I'm excited for this one. We've seen what Canberra did to the Broncos pack. So I'm interested to see what they can do to the Sharks pack. I think the Sharks' confidence will be pretty low after the weekend, and I'm going to nod the Raiders just in this one. I think the Sharks are a bit of a momentum team, so I am going to go the Raiders, looking for a big bounce back after a couple of lackluster performances. I'm going to go Raiders 1-12.
Ooh, I like that. I've been flipping both sides of this game. I think that the Sharkies need to flex that they're over these sort of moments like this. Like, there's been the discussion over the Sharkies the last couple of years is, I don't want to call it like, I'm just going to go out and say it, but a lot of people say they got the soft underbelly, right? They're, as you said, a side that is a momentum side, and when they get a roll on, they're tough to beat. They're like a Manly Seagulls, but when they get beat, they can fall into a little bit of a slump in that. So I'm going to go the Sharkies in a 1-12 bounce back. I think it's going to be a real close game because I think Ricky will have these guys firing after 2 defeats back and back. Is it 2 defeats now, back to back? Yeah, 2 defeats. Yeah. So I don't think he wants to go a third, but no, I'm going Sharkies because I think they are still a step above the Raiders, but I can see where you're coming at. Raiders at home, Ricky Stewart. There's a lot of things going on there.
And I think Iro's been massive for them, and I think they'll miss him a lot.
Yeah, you're 100% right. BRODIE, who's coming up from New South Wales Cup, very talented player. But Kale Iro, when he's taken over that position, he's been on fire. And he actually caused you guys a little bit of havoc early on in that game, and then you guys just shut him out when you started to notice that he was picking up too much steam. Yeah,
100%. More films. Latrell, we don't play fantasy, we play Supercoach, if that's what you mean. But on Supercoach, he is way too much to touch right now. But Ash has highly considered it. I don't know if he did. We'll find out tomorrow night. Tune in next week. Tune in tomorrow night.
Tune in next week. Tune in tomorrow night there, Bella. We will be talking on Supercoach, and you can kind of relay Supercoach and fantasy between each other. And,
fair.
But I do agree with Brody. I did think about it, but we'll have to wait and see tomorrow what I did with my Supercoach team. Shout out to also, before we jump over, Daniel Bate. Thank you so much for commenting, my bro. He's from the UK. First time here live.
We've gone international.
We're going international, baby. We'll be gentle with you, baby. Don't worry.
Daniel, give us the swear word in the chat.
Give us a swear.
Give us your favorite swear word. Give us your favorite swear word, brother.
He's feeling himself tonight. Moving over to the Penrith Panthers versus the North Queensland Cowboys. The Cowboys coming off of the first win of the season. The Penrith Panthers on a 3-game slump. I need to touch on this too much more. No Brian To'o in this game. No Scotty Sorensen. No Trent Tolau. But the ins of this lineup here, we got Nathan Cleary in. We got Blaze Talangi. I'm pretty sure he was still in anyway. He drops out of the side anyway. Thomas Jenkins holds on to his center spot, and Case McLean comes back onto the wing.
Oh, Daniel, you bloody bell end.
Are the Panthers just going to be well too strong for the Cowboys that have had their first win for the season?
Yeah, shout out Luke Rohrer, Panthers 20+.
Panthers 20+.
I'm serious. I'm serious. You watch Captain Cleary on Supercoach this week and sit back and enjoy the rewards.
I'm just laughing because he named Luke he can't even pronounce his last name properly. So anyway, continuing on. But I agree with you, bro. The Panthers playing at CommBank Stadium. That's their new home ground. They will be looking for a bounce back.
The Vice Luke. Yeah, brother. I did think about it, but I think I don't want to have to deal with having to find somebody to captain instead, brother. So that's why I'm going with Cleary straight up. Sorry, Ash. Continue on, brother.
You're right, bro, but I'm pretty much echoing your thoughts here. I think the Cowboys had a little bit of a high last week, incredible. I think to back it up after a Panthers team get gone 3 losses on a trot, they don't go 4 losses on a trot. Like, surely you could probably bet a house on that. But if anyone wants to bet on the Cowboys, no.
Hey, babe, back your shit. We're gonna get out.
We're moving to New Zealand, baby. Run away from our debts, but we're both going Penrith by a big margin.
100%. Yeah, I'd say Penrith 13+ in all seriousness.
All right, sweet. Moving over to the Rabbitohs versus the Roosters. This will be at a core stadium. It's a grudge match of all grudge matches. Coming into this game, no Alex Johnson due to the shoulder injury of last week. Victor Radley is also out as well. I'm pretty sure with a facial injury from memory with the head knock. So hopefully he's doing okay. Connor Watson comes back into the lineup. Obviously the big one here for the Rabbitohs. Latrell Mitchell back in the lineup, and even bigger one for our super coach, Lockie Hubner back in the lineup as well.
Yeah, so get us that price rise, brother.
100%. What are you feeling here?
Oh, I'm feeling about 3 sin bins, but Victor's out. So I'm going to go with the Rabbits and Latrell anytime. You could almost write it. It'll be a script back against the Roosters, his old club. I'm going to go Rabbits 1-12 with a Latrell try.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think Jai Gray is going to work his ass off out back. You've got Latrell Mitchell, just I think 1-on-1 as a center. He's probably, we've all agreed that he's probably the best left center in the league. That's not playing left center. Yeah. So I think that he's going to cause a lot of havoc down that side. I'm pretty sure that's going to be Robert Toya's side as well. So shout out to Rob Toya. I feel for you, brother.
Hope you got your shoulders warmed up this week, brother.
Oh, man. But talking about Simbins, they still got Spencer Leniu in the lineup, so there could be a Simbin in this game.
There could be, but there's no Hargraves, no Radley. Yeah, it's just, there's no, what's his name? Tane Mill.
Yeah. Shout out to Tane. They probably need him for a little period there, too, with the injuries.
So too, yeah. I think so, too.
So we're going to I'm going to go Rabbits 1-12. Do you think they're going to do it by a big margin?
Yeah. No, Rabbits 1-12, Latrell, anytime. Get on it.
Oh, I love that. Moving over to the first Saturday game, we got the Parramatta Eels versus the Dragons. Parramatta is yet to start up their engines. They're really trying to fire, but then just not able to. The Dragons finally getting a win against the Melbourne Storm over the weekend, and a really strong one. Both outs in this game. We got Joey Lussick out for the Eels. That would mean that your boy, Riley Smith, the guy that you love so much, he gets to start. Reed Marnie, brother. It's Reed Marnie 2.0.
Off Timu.
And with the Dragons, Emre Gula is out for this game here. To fill him out on the bench, Blake Lowry looks like he's jumped on the bench as well. Shout out to Hamish Stewart as well, overcoming, but he's not injured. He's still playing too for super coaches out there that have got him in the lineup. Dylan Walker coming in for the Parramatta Eels as well too. Lastly, I want to touch on there. But what's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I'm going to go Dragons. I'm going to go Dragons 13 plus, and I'm going to go Gutho 3 try assist.
Ooh, I love it. I love it for my super coach as well. I need Gutho to fire. I am going to go Dragons. Yeah, I'll probably run that with you. Actually, at CommBank, I'm going to go Dragons 13 plus. I think Gutho's going to have an incredible game against his old team and going to show them what they're missing out on. I really do. I was just kind of contemplating whether I just think that the Eels would be up for it being at CommBank Stadium, make it a 1-12 contest, but I got the Dragons on my head-to-head anyway.
Yeah, Dragons head-to-head for sure. And the scoreline, it'll depend on how much Gutho wants to hurt the Eels.
Yeah. Oh, right. I'm really excited to see what Gutho has for him because I know just the competitor that he is, he's going to turn up and want to really do something big against his Parramatta side. So
100%.
Shout out to him. Moving over to a Brisbane derby or a Queensland derby, sorry, probably not more so a Brisbane derby, but the Gold Coast Titans versus the Dolphins, the Redcliffe Dolphins, the Dolphins, whatever you want to call them, at Seabus Super Stadium. Coming into this game, Sam Verrills unfortunately out for the Gold Coast Titans, but coming onto the bench, Sean Malani. Haven't seen too much of his game, and I'll try to watch as much Q Cup and that. But guys, if anyone knows too much about him, let me know. With the Dolphins, Tom Gilbert out of the lineup as well. So I think Connolly Lemuelu comes in. So what's your thoughts on this game? Do you think the Dolphins get their first win of the season against the Gold Coast at Gold Coast, or do you think the Gold Coast continue the form of what they got now?
Don't worry about that. I don't think the Dolphins start this week. I think the Titans get another nice win.
Yeah, I think the Titans, if they perform like they did last week against the Roosters and even the week before that against Newcastle, they'll be too strong for the Dolphins here. I'm going to go 1-12 because I think the Dolphins showed that they wanted to bounce back last week and they gave it a tough crack against the Broncos.
Yeah,
I think they'll make it a 1-12 contest here against the
I think 1-12 as well, and I'll probably go Herbie as a try scorer.
Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to go with the young bloke. I'm going to go Jalen DeGroot. I'm really impressed by him
that
at fullback. Got a lot of speed. Obviously didn't have too much game-breaking moments last week, but I think he's going to find a little bit here against this Dolphins side.
Yep, 100%. I like that.
Might be some value on that too, so definitely jump on as quickly as possible. Moving over to the Brisbane Broncos versus the West Tigers at Suncorp Stadium. The major outs in this game. Jerome Luai out due to suspension, but also has a shoulder injury as well that may put him out for a little bit longer. With the Broncos, Jordan Ricky is out of the lineup. Jaden Hunt comes into the bench to fill out that role. Adam Dewey is also back into the lineup with that hamstring niggle that held him out last week. He will be a game time watch, I reckon, coming to this week as well. So just keep an eye out on late changes. Where's your head at for this game? Do the Tigers just compete their way out into a win here, or do you think the Broncos probably get it over the top of the Tigers that are missing Luai?
Oh, well, I think the fans will be about 10,000 less this week since Jordan Ricky's out. So shout out to Ricky for handicapping the Broncos attendance right there. But I'm going to go with the Broncos 13 plus. I think Walsh has had 3 pretty average games. I reckon he'll click into gear this week, and Jerome Luai being out is a big out.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the Tigers have been so connected, so strong, but I think that obviously it's a lot of chat going around about what Jerome Luai has done for this club, but I think all the little things people are forgetting what he's actually been doing. He's had big moments that get overshadowed with this Tigers side. Like in our game over the weekend, he put a shot on Mitch Barnett with a couple there was a couple of line breaks in the period there, and he caused Mitch Barnett to knock the ball on. It was a major momentum shift for him. There was the week before that, I think, with the Dolphins, where he overchased on a play and he ended up knocking the ball out of someone's hands from the behind. He's had big moments like that in defense, and I think he's really up there scramble defensive game. You know what I mean? I think he's a big key piece to that. So, but Latu coming off the bench last week, I thought he was really, really solid. So hopefully he can get himself into the game. He's a predominant better runner of the football, I think, than he is anything else. So I'm waiting to see, but I've probably got the Broncos. I'm probably going to go. I'm going to Broncos 1-12 at Suncorp. I think
1-12, sneaky.
I think the Tigers will continue to.
I hope so. I hope they do hold on. You're right. The effort areas are there, and I hope they don't go backwards this week. But I do see the Broncos getting going and hitting a 13 plus.
You can definitely see that as well. But shout out to
Yeah.
Clark Kent. He's got a really nice one.
Yeah,
Thoughts on the
Clarky.
potential?
How's the tree
Clark-
treating you?
You're an egg. Well, thoughts on the potential Samoa teammates facing each other, Haas versus Terrell May?
I'm keen to watch this matchup. I really am. I think May will hold his own in like work rate in attack.
Yep.
But I think
It's defense.
I think that Haas is going to embarrass him a little bit in defense, and Haas will see the comparisons and saying that Terrell May's up there with him for like best forward, and I think Haas will take it personally, and I think he'll want to prove a point this week, and wouldn't surprise me that Haas goes for big numbers this week, and yeah, he'll be really going after May this week, I do believe.
I can't wait to see it. I really can't wait. I can just, I feel the same way as you. I think Payne Haas will have this circled and be like, there's a lot of hype on Terrell May at the moment. Everyone loves him. Obviously, there's a lot of hype on him at the moment too with Payne Haas, but he's going to show who's the real dominant. And even Terrell May could jump out. This would be the real big showing of Terrell. Is like, this is the alpha moment. If he's able to take it with like Payne Haas and really come out with some really big moments, I'm really excited to see what can come out of this game. I think it would be really, really incredible. So keep an eye out on that one. But we're both going Broncos here. Just you going bigger margin.
Yeah, I think the bigger margin, just late, but yeah, excited for that matchup. That was a great shout. That was a really great shout. Thanks, Clarky.
100%. Thank you, Clarky, brother. Moving over to the first game on the Sunday, I think this is a massive game as well. The Manly Seagulls go without Tom Trbojevic, but they go up against the Melbourne Storm. This is at 4 Pines. They're at $2.54 at the moment. Melbourne coming off of a loss, don't usually go back-to-back losses, but Manly at 4 Pines usually is a really tough test, and they lost there last year from memory as well. So what's your thoughts on this game? Do you think the Melbourne Storm bounce back from last week, or do you think the Manly Seagulls go back-to-back from the victory last week?
No, I see the Storm bouncing back in this one, and I've seen Jerome Hughes named on reserves, so I expect him to be a late-minute inclusion. I think Storm get it done this week. Pretty convincingly, and Bellamy will have him firing. They've been 2 poor performances the last 2 weeks for Melbourne, even though they got the win over the Panthers. But yeah, he wouldn't be happy, Bellamy, and he's going to have him firing.
I'm expecting a really big battle for the middle. I think that, people probably would have been looking at the Warriors game over Manly and seeing that's probably the blueprint how to beat Manly. You just got to tough it with them and really roll them through the middle. And I think I'm expecting Harry Grant to have a massive game in this one. I think he had a massive game against them last year. So I'm going to go Melbourne Storm. I think they can really go big here. I think they can go a 13 plus. I think that they'll be really itching for it. And I think Craig Bellamy will want to put his foot down after last week's performance.
Give us a try scorer, Ash. A value try scorer.
I'm not sure what Harry Grant will be, but I'm really big on that middle battle, and I think Harry Grant will end up scoring a try here in this game. So go Harry Grant. If you want something on the outside of that, I'm loving Sean Blaw's game at the moment.
I knew you were going to say Sean Blaw. I was thinking Sean Blaw, and I knew you were thinking Sean Blaw.
Yeah, DCE on that side, it is Olakau'atu's side, but DCE sometimes can get caught out in those moments, and I think that Sean Blaw off the back of a Cam Munster and just magic, I think that he could go over.
I don't know if he's playing, but I'm going with Tui. Tui Kamikamica. Is he playing?
He is playing. Yeah. Off the bench through the middle. I love that. I love that shout. Yeah, all right.
Good value multi coming.
Yeah, good value multi coming. We love to see it. Guys, make sure you chuck in your chat who your tips are for the weekend as well. And moving on to the last game, the most important game. I feel like I've said this. Usually been the last game for a couple of games this year, haven't
we played Saturday night last week, but yeah, before that we were the last game of the round, and I'm starting to actually notice how they tee things up. So we've teed up to be the last game this round, then we've got a bye, and then I think we jump on to the start of like a couple of Friday nights and Thursday nights. So that's how they swing you around. Otherwise, it's so hard to go from like a Sunday to eventually get a team to play on a Thursday. So they run them on the Sundays into the bye. And then after the bye, they can start them at the start of the week.
Yeah. And shout out to the Broncos probably playing their first Saturday game in fucking like 20 years. So
yeah, is it daytime?
Yeah, it's Saturday daytime.
Oh, Jesus. Clancy's going to be day drunk. Shout out to Daniel as well. Who's
it is at night times. It's nighttime. Sorry. What were you saying, though?
Oh, sorry. Daniel's just liked and subbed. So shout out to him, bro.
Thank you so much, Daniel, brother. Appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much for coming through. But with your game of the weekend, Accor Stadium versus the Newcastle Knights. Leo Thompson's back in for the Newcastle Knights, was missing in the Titan game from memory. And with the Doggies, you got Satili Tupanua out, obviously due to injury. But the ins, the major one that we want to be talking about, Jacob Carraz is sitting there in the extended bench. What are your thoughts there? Does he come as a late change, or do you reckon they rest him for another week?
I don't understand why teams do this. So is it just to maybe see how they go throughout the week with training and see if they're ready?
Yeah. They'll do a fitness test with your Sunday game, probably come like Saturday, Friday.
I would like to see him back, only with Sully out. Just a little bit of go forward we lose there with him out, and would gain that straight back if we got Carraz back in there. So I would like to see him play. I really would. But I'm going to go Doggies 1-12 in this one.
Yeah, definitely a really tough contest. Shout out Thomas Kant holding on to that spot. KPP's not out, not back just yet. He will be back very shortly. I'm going to go to Dogs, just what I've seen for this before from the start of the season. I think the Knights, like if you wrestle with them like the Titans did before the bye, I think you guys can find a lot of success against Newcastle and really pressure them into errors. And they do have errors in their games when they get pressured. So I'm going the Doggies 1-12. I think it will be a tight contest. I think Newcastle will be fighting off of a bye. Adam O'Brien will have him pumping after the loss preview that. Yeah, I think you guys are just a little bit too good for them to get over the top of, coming into this week anyway. I think you guys are firing at the moment on all cylinders.
Hopefully, brother. Hopefully another good performance.
Fingers crossed, bro. We're all riding the Dogs with you, and just as much as you're riding the Wires, so let's go.
Yeah, well, I hope Chris ain't in the chat anymore because we're talking about being on the pipe now. Don't worry about swearing.
What is Boosh? I don't know why I said I gotta lay off the pipe. Shout out to Boosh, he's the top man. And Daniel Bates, nobody does content like you, Aussies and New Zealanders. Excellent viewing on YouTube. Thanks to you all. I'm a big fan. Appreciate you, Daniel, brother, and thank you so much. Come through next week. Oh, tomorrow night, if you want to jump on, we talk about Supercoach. If you're a Supercoach, man.
Teach you how to play some Supercoach, brother.
Yeah. Jump on, have some fun. Even just like listen to us chat some footy, chat some shit. We love to shoot the shit.
Can't say that.
Oh, sorry, man. I just wanted to end the show like that, man. Buzzman, if the Doggies win, they are the real deal.
Come on, mate. We're already the real deal.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
He's a Sharks fan, isn't he?
He's a Warriors man, I'm pretty sure. Okay.
Yeah,
he's a Warriors man. I've seen him on Buzz Up TV and all that. Big supporters, a lot of these guys. But thank you so much, guys, for the amazing show tonight. Anything more you want to add before we jump off, bro?
Nah, that's all for me until tomorrow night, boys.
Quickly before we go, can you guys speak on the headshot crackdown? How many bins this week? More than 5. So, yeah. For me, if you watch the rest of the NRL 360, I'm pretty sure Abdo comes on later and pretty much says it's going to be exactly what it should be anyway, which is like you get hit in the head, direct contact, you're going to get in the bin. Like, I don't think it's going to be every high shot like everyone's kind of entailing, but
it will be this weekend. I can almost guarantee it. Like, only for the fact that we've seen this before, and it's exactly what Hosea is hinting at. When they bring this shit in, they go over the top, and then it takes 2 weeks or 3 weeks to actually moderate to where it probably should be. So I dare say we're going to see over the top amount of sin bins this week.
So we're going to go overs, unders, and 5 overs, unders.
Oh. Well, the Rabbits play the Roosters as well, so there might be 5 in the one game.
That's a tough one there. What other games we got? Parramatta versus Dragons.
What are you making the line? Are you making the line 4.5?
We'll go 4.5. Yeah. All
right. I'm gonna say
Manly versus Melbourne.
I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna say over.
Oh, that's a big one. Well, I'll go the unders then, just to see how it plays out
over
the weekend.
All right. I like it. Shout out the chat if you're over or under 4.5 sin bins this weekend.
Yeah. I'm going to put my trust in the NRL, which I shouldn't do because they always fucking blow it. But
Bulldogs breed grubs.
Oh, Buzzman, you've undid all your work with that one comment, brother. Shout out to you.
Brother. It's all right. I understand the salt.
Don't you give me secondhand smoke after his comment, right? There's 2 different Warriors fans here.
Brother, just go back, watch round 2. Have a look at our win. I think it was against the Gold Coast Titans. And check your performance from last year, eh? Against the Gold Coast Titans.
And we're talking about this year, mate. Our round 2 versus your round 2. Manly Seagulls, baby. We put him to the sword.
Oh, come on.
Spencer Linu. Spencer Linu for the sin bin for Jose. Tip which player is going to be sent in the sin bin. Yeah, Spencer's probably definitely going to be one of them.
Yeah, I think Sportsbet need to start bringing some markets like this.
Yeah.
I reckon Spencer. I reckon who for Manly? I reckon somebody for Manly.
Nathan Brown's in the lineup.
Nathan Brown, sin bin for there you go.
Or Jazzy, get Jazzy on there. Jazzy.
Oh, Jazzy to sin bin. Nah. Yeah, Spencer's a pretty good shout. I reckon he'll probably spend some time in the bin this weekend.
I'm gonna see. Tans has said safe off. I don't know if he is playing.
I think he got suspended.
Yeah, I thought he did too.
I think he got 2 weeks.
He's named though, so whether that's
maybe he got off. He must have got off.
But they got Ruben Porter. That's their edge back rower from Magpies in the reserves here. So maybe he'll be a late switch. But if he does play, I could probably say safe half. You could probably even go Royce Hunt.
Simbin.
Yeah, he's got it in him.
Yeah, add Simbin.
Add Simbin, you reckon? Sharkies versus Raiders. Oh, Corey Horsburgh.
But he wouldn't be silly enough to throw hands like he did that New South Wales Cup game. Yeah. Surely.
Oh, bro, it'd be 3 weeks in a row someone's trying to test ads, so that'd be incredible.
Hopefully he does.
Unfortunately, Boosh, Radley is out this week, but he would have been probably our top tip, right?
He's a $1 favorite for a sin bin, especially against the Rabbits.
I'm guessing you say Radley or Crichton playing. Angus Crichton would be playing.
Angus Crichton's playing, yeah.
Latrell Tance. No, Trell will be okay.
Nah, he'll be living his best life, I reckon.
All right, guys, that will probably do us for tonight. Thank you so much for all you jumping on. Make sure you jump on tomorrow night if you want to chat some Supercoach with me and Brody. We missed out last week, obviously, due to some things going on that people obviously know about. But anyway, we will be back on tomorrow. We'll tell you our trades of last week, this week, how our scores went, how we're sitting. It was probably the best thing to miss last week anyway, because I had a shocker of a week. So it is what
I think everybody had a shocker last week. So tune in this week, though, a bit better of a week and good things coming. And we'll make sure we post up a show rating before it starts as well.
Yes.
M15 plus, like Ash will get the promo going now.
Yeah, well, keep a shirt on, Brody, all right?
I will. A bit cold now. It's starting to cool down.
Yeah, nips are getting hard. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoy your night. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Take it easy. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And up the wires, baby.
Laters. Let's go, doggies.